All right, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for this 5th edition of the Ray Higgins Show on Zoom and on Facebook. This show is, actually, I wasn't going to do another show. As some of you guys on the last call heard me say, I wasn't going to do another one, but I think in light of what happened on Friday, I think that it was worthy and warranted of another show. So I don't know if I'm going to go past this one, but we're going to definitely have this one. Thank you for all the new people that have joined the show for the first time, those who have returned, like my longstanding friends from Go Grambling, Mr. Beslin and Tyrone Davis, and those who've joined this show for a couple of times, Ms. Burks. We appreciate you coming on. As you all know, on Friday, 10 o'clock, the university announced that Hue Jackson will become they say the 14th, I say the 11th, but okay. Head coach at Grambling State University. They include interims. I don't really include interims when I do my count, but the university said 14, so we'll go with 14. So that's Hue Jackson, and I'm sure by now we've all seen his resume at some point from the many posts that have taken place over the course of the last 48 hours. I'm going to go around the room and just ask a couple of people their thoughts on what was going through their mind once it was officially done. I know there was a lot of speculation early, a lot of names that were thrown out early on in the process. But once you found out specifically it was going to be Hue Jackson, what were your comments, thoughts, and concerns about that? First, let's go through an OG. Let's go with Tyrone Davis.
I was very pleased with the announcement, the names being thrown around. I thought really they couldn't go wrong. I really thought any one of the 3 or 4 names that were mentioned, and now I heard another name today that I wasn't aware of. So, but I'm pleased with it. And like I say, I lived in Southern California for over 40 years. He's from there. I met him once in my life when he was recruiting Atlanta, because I was coaching at Mater Dei women's fast pitch softball for girls. And I like his Southern California connection. So I'm pleased.
Okay, great. Let's go with someone that's brand new. Let's go with Beatrice.
All right, B. Come on, Beatrice.
You got to turn on your mic.
Okay, hello. Well, I'm optimistic and excited, for a brand new season that's coming up. So just looking forward to seeing what's going to happen.
All right, when you were, I know you heard a lot of names that were, well, not a lot, you heard some names that were mentioned in the process early on. Were you concerned, or how were you feeling with all the names that were going out there? How did you feel?
For me?
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's say I don't know too much about football. I've heard of a couple of the names, but just throwing out it did me doing my research, so I was like, okay, don't know much about football. I just know when I go to the game, I cheer for my Tigers, so just like I say, optimistic, just looking forward to see what's actually going to happen and the fan support behind it.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I want to let you guys know that we have 3 sisters on the show. Mm-hmm. And so, the McElroy sisters are on this show. So they represent Grambling. They're at games. They wear Grambling gear, official Grambling gear. They support, regardless who the coach is, they're always there. And I do appreciate them personally for them being at the games and me seeing them and things like that. So shout out to the McElroy sisters from Monroe.
Hey, thank you, Ray.
All right, we're gonna go with the OG. Let's go with Mr. Beslin.
Oh, thank you, man. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. In case for those that don't know me, I'm a Gramblingite, 1978 graduate, and also my wife is a 1978 graduate of Grambling, and my youngest son is a 2000 graduate of Grambling, so we're kind of deeply entrenched in the G. I've been a season ticket holder for about 25 years or plus, and we try to support and go to as many of the home games as we can. I'm here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but we try to make it to the home games. I didn't get a chance to make but one home game this year, but we'll make it up. We have made all of them, and we have made, one or less. But at any rate, to answer your question, I saw the names that were mentioned, and I didn't know. I really didn't know what to think. I remember Coach Jackson. I remember his name, but I really didn't know much about him, and I had to do a little research on him myself. But I've seen his presentation, and I'm excited to see what he will do as far as our recruiting and as far as the coaches that he surrounds himself with. So I'm ready to see some changes taking place.
Okay, appreciate that. Let's go with William Armstead.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Can't hear you. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Awesome. Yeah. So again, I'm William Armstead. I graduated from Grambling 1988. Come from a whole host of family members. My wife also graduated from Grambling in '87. Just a brief background. Very excited about the hire. My only concern though is, are we too late in him getting some assistance who's going to help him, build up this program and get it back to the standards that, we're used to. And that's, I've noticed he's already out on the recruiting efforts, and he was in Baton Rouge, I think I saw. And again, it's just a concern that, hey, he's hitting the ground effectively trying to recruit kids, but does he know the territory? And also, is he just going to limit himself to just Louisiana? I mean, we got some talent, throughout the southern states, and hopefully he can, we have some alumni, or, we have some folks that can reach out and to him and get him some good talent to come in and help support the program.
Okay. Before we get to Amanda Buffin, we are going to talk about the other aspects of this coaching situation, whether it be salaries, whether it be assistance, whether it be things like that. So we're going to get to all that during this conversation. So rest assured, we are ready and prepared to try to talk about those things as well. So go ahead, Amanda.
Well, I was concerned in the beginning because one thing I want to make sure is that we don't lose our tradition. Like when we were rooted in, I want us, of course, move forward and be innovative and catch up with the times. So, and by me being a student trainer and still kind of active in Grambling, I really was just looking for somebody who really has love for the kids, because we still have a lot of kids that are there, and I want to make sure that he's building a team, but a lot of our kids are not just being thrown away either. Like I said, of course, we need to build, and I've seen his social media presence where he's going to Oregon and where he's reaching out to players in Oregon, just different parts of the state, which I feel like that's what we need. We need a diverse team. So I like what he's doing so far, and what made me, I was kind of iffy, but my son when he was at the press conference, he said, "Mama, I really feel this guy's genuine." He said, I just think that he's a genuine person. So, I mean, I'm going to get behind Grambling regardless. And the other thing I'm concerned about is, and I hope we'll touch on, although we're concerned about the coaches, we need to make sure that we are being better fans as a whole, because that's one thing I've always kind of had this disdain for. Like I said, me being in the fan and me being a student trainer, I've seen how other schools like Southern has a great, I don't care what Southern does, their fans gonna stick with them. So I'm just hoping for the day where Grambling will get to be that same way, and let's get behind this guy and really just push the program.
Okay, appreciate that, Amanda. Let's go with someone who joined my last show for the first time, and we'll talk about, see if he's able to share some other things with us later on. But Kirk Butler.
Hey, thanks again for having me and putting the call together. But I think it's huge for our institution. I think the Grambling G is synonymous with like some of the famous icons that we see in sports. And I think Mr. Jackson, I think the connections that he brings is going to be huge for our university. And when you think about the big picture of students wanting to talk to someone that's been in the NFL, that's had that NFL experience, the dynamics that will bring to our offense and defense, I think it's tremendous for us. And I think it was probably one of the best hires that we probably could have gotten out there. And I think we'll see dividends almost immediately as we're seeing online now.
Okay, great. Appreciate that, Kirk. Let's go with Danny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danny Moses. I'm down here in South Louisiana. We're starting up a new chapter. So y'all will be seeing us. We're going to be.
What city are you in?
I'm in Laplace.
Okay, great.
It's in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
We stop there all the time on our way to the Bayou Classic. That's our regular stop.
Okay. So it's Grambling River Parishes Alumni Association. But some of the names I heard were Ray, I can't even think, Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis. A lot of people were very upset when Dooley was hired by Southern. There were some other names. I didn't know that much about Hue Jackson either. I had to do some research and I was asking some of the people and they started giving me information. So what I could see in this hire, I'm on the phone. What I could see in this hire is nothing but good stuff for our university. I was first with Crescent City and I had been trying to recruit people to get to the Crescent City chapter. And it was hard. But soon as Hue Jackson signed, there were so many people talking about joining the alumni associations, buying season tickets, coming to more games. And like I said, I had actually said this year, I need to start making more than homecoming and high school day. But I catch about 3 or 4, it depends on if we're winning, road games. So we usually catch 3 games, 4 if we're going to Atlanta. We've been since 2017. But when we do that, the road games, it's not that many people who I can actually get to come. Like now we have so many people who are excited that Hue Jackson is the head coach of Grambling football, and it's just a buzz going on. So I don't know how much the pay is, but I think the money that he's gonna bring in should be able to cover whatever the salary is. So I'm very excited about it.
Okay, I appreciate it and appreciate you coming on the show for the first time. Let's go with Carmelita.
Yes. I'm very, very excited. To be honest with you, when I first heard the 3 names, I don't know about football at all. So I've never heard of the teams. The only thing I know about is Grambling. So after talking to male and female football fanatics, they have awesome things to say about Coach Jackson. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I go to the games, but my sisters and I have been on the phone. We've been talking about we ready for the fall and let's get our hotels and tickets, and just different people that I've been talking to are really excited about the new season. So I'm looking forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go with Andrew Wilson.
All right. Hello, Graham fam.
Hello.
What was said so far. Somebody made a comment about our fan base. That is so true. We got a bougie.
Andrew, let's get to that. Let's get to that later on in the conversation. Let's start off with what everybody's talking about, which is
all right. What was the question?
What are your feelings about Hue Jackson and the names that were surrounding the hire for Grambling?
Oh man, awesome. I call it. I text you. I said it's gonna be Hue, man. And he posted Hue. And hey, it's on. I like the buzz, man. I like the excitement. I like the fact that he's hitting the ground running. I like the fact that the world, this country, is focused on Grambling State University right now.
Exactly.
That's a lot of energy,
In
man.
a
So
positive way. In a positive way.
yeah, in a positive way. Yeah, I'm out.
Okay. All right then. Let's go with Katrina. Katrina's brand new, but I've known Katrina Howard for a very long time. And we became friends before she had the baby.
Before marriage.
Before marriage, actually, yeah. So it's great to have Katrina on. She's a long time. I mean, I think I've known Katrina about 15 plus years. So it's good to have. I haven't spoken with you since, it's been that long. So welcome to the show, and give us your thoughts about the hire for Grambling State University.
Thanks, Ray. Hello, Gram fam. I am excited to be here with you all. I am excited about the hire. I really am. When I was hearing ramblings about Ed Reed, and I read earlier that Ed Reed was offered the job, and but he couldn't take it. It was a bad time for him. But I am so happy with Hue Jackson. Rock Nation, they retweeted us twice, and everyone knows who Rock Nation is with JB, the sports part. It was just awesome to see the excitement. I am ready. I'm in Chicago. That's where I am. I was telling Ray, I don't know who I was telling. I said, you know what? I'll buy season tickets. I won't be able to make every game, but I participate in every campaign. Recurring donor at Grambling. So I'm excited about the possibilities. I'm excited about the fan base. I know we're going to get into that later, but I think people are being rejuvenated. My phone has been blowing up. Even before the hire was announced, people were blowing up my phone. So I'm really excited, glad to be here, and I'm ready.
That's great. Appreciate it, Katrina. Let's go with Robert Stewart. Robert's new as well.
Good evening, everyone. From the great city of Minden, Louisiana, we are blessed to have a person that has been selected as our football coach that I believe will be committed to excellence, committed to growth, and committed to witness in the lives of these young people that are coming to play for our institution. So it is my prayer, and it should be our prayer, that he will be successful. He will bring in the right staff that's committed and dedicated to making a difference with these young men in and outside of the classroom.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Stewart. Let's go with, let's see. Oh, let's go with, is he still on? Sean St. John. Let's go with Sean.
Good evening, Graham fam. How we doing?
Doing good.
First of all, hope everybody's in good spirit and good health. Graham fam, we just love you. As I told Ray, I thought RL was gonna get the job, but lo and behold, Hue Jackson, I know a little bit about him from the Cleveland days and Oakland days and everything. The record was a little shaky when he first got the start, but there were some circumstances I thought that, could have been better. Getting Graham fam, I think, is just huge for us right now. It is a lot of buzz. The quarterback out of California got a lot of buzz in Louisiana. I'm from Alexandria, by the way. Alexandria, Louisiana, 93.9 if you're listening on the radio in Alex. But I think Hue Jackson is going to be a lift. I'm going to give him a chance. I hope he get the defense corrected. But offensively, I'm looking forward to some things. The names, that were good names. Ed Reed, I heard, Ray Lewis, and of course, Hue Jackson, and I guess some other guys. But overall, right now, I'm a little excited. An NFL coach with a lot of, I think, organization, and it's going to bring a lot of integrity, and I think it's going to bring some revenue to the program.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sean. Let's go with Greg Jackson.
What's up, Graham fam? Good to see everybody on here. I'm out of Shreveport, Louisiana, 2002 Grambling graduate, former member of the World Fame, all things Grambling supporter. And I was very happy to hear about Hue. because I think right now he's someone that can bring a lot of experience, on different levels coaching. And that's what I think we needed. We didn't need another prime time. We needed a real coach. So I think he was going to be exactly just that. Coaches that know, he's going to be a coach that knows something about, the topic of going to the NFL, what it's going to take for our kids to get there. And I think, more importantly than us winning, he's going to be able to provide a real source of, a gateway to the NFL for a lot of these kids and ways to get there and things to do. So I think he's going to help overall. We're, season ticket holder for many years and, just happy to see something exciting going on again. This was very strategic. Didn't see it coming out of anywhere, just strategic hire. So I think our athletic department did a good job getting Hue in. So we're excited over here.
Appreciate that, Greg. And I'd like to mention with Greg, I've known Greg for a while since he was a member of the marching band, and I was the videographer. So I would travel. We were on the same bus, and we went to a lot of games together and hung out, became friends. Of course, with him being from Shreveport, then he married his lovely wife, and they're my lovely new out of Grambling past 10-year couple. I love those guys, man. Every time I see them taking pictures, they're really great inspiration to what's to come. If we had a lot of players, a lot of student athletes, and a lot of band members, a lot of former students like that couple, man, we would be an awesome university. We can definitely get to that particular point. Let's go with, I'm going to go with Cordy. Turn on your mic, sweetie. Okay.
Unmute.
Okay. We can't hear you. All right, we're going to try to come back. All right, go ahead.
I had to turn it on. I'm sorry. I said ditto to what everyone said. I didn't know much about him. I'm excited about the guy, about the new coach. Who that? My sister goes around the house just saying who that. So I got who that. So I'm excited about who that, and I'm just looking forward to a great season.
Okay, thank you.
I will continue to travel with the team.
All right, and that's one of the four sisters, I believe. That's the McElroy sisters out of Monroe. I had a chance to take a picture with all of them, so they're awesome. They're awesome. All right, that takes care of our first portion of the show. Let's go with what do you guys want to talk about next? If you want to talk about fans, you want to talk about assistants, you want to talk about expectations. You guys tell me what you guys want to talk about. We'll go with there.
Let's talk about fans, since somebody brought it up about our fans.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me give you some background on the fan situation as far as season tickets. All right. In 2021, the season ticket holder, this is just the person's name that's on the roster. It does not say how many tickets that person has. It's just the person's name. 724.
Wow.
That's really, really low. That's really low. And that's the lowest it's probably been since 2012. And 2019, we had 1,003 season ticket holders. Again, that's just the name. They could have 4 or 5 tickets, between them. That's just that particular name. I say that to say this: we definitely need to understand how important season tickets are to the university and to the athletic department. Not only it gives the department money up front to be able to handle things. If something comes up, they've got funds in order to make things happen. I hear the comment about, well, I don't get a chance to come. The only game I come to is homecoming. And I understand that. I get that. But what we have to understand is that it's a donation to the university. It helps all departments, not just football. It helps all departments. It helps the track, softball, bowling, tennis. It helps them all. So the need to have season tickets is very important. And I want to, when you're talking about it to your friends and things like that, please let them understand that we understand that you can't make all the games, but I think, and while we talk about that, from my understanding that we are going to get an enhanced ticket system. It is going to come into play, hopefully, before they announce or as they announce the schedule. So be on the lookout for that. I was told, and this is just a conversation that I had with somebody that's pertinent to the situation, that you'll be able to, you'll be given, stuff will be driven by address. So whatever your email address is, they'll send the information, you'll be able to do it online. When it's time to re-up, all you have to do is, re-up for the season for football or whatever sport it is that you're trying to get tickets for. If you want to, you can't make that game and you want to send your ticket to a friend of yours that's standing in line to get in the game, you'll be able to email that ticket to that particular person, and that person can use that ticket from their phone to get into the games. So that's what I'm hearing is coming down the pipe. So let's just hopefully that'll be done as soon as they announce the schedule, which again, from what I understand, we only have one game left to schedule and the schedule is complete. So that's that. So let's go around the horn. Who wants to talk about fans?
I do.
All right, go ahead, Katrina.
Okay, so I am so happy that they're doing that. What has happened to me in the past, ever since I moved to Chicago, I've been up here, I think 6 years now from Houston. I've always complained about the antiquated system of those season tickets. I'm so frustrated. So what I've done, I just donated through my account to the athletic department. It's just, for me, I like easy access. I'm a person of convenience. So to hear this is great, because I think I put it in our alumni group. I can't operate in that space. It's easier for me to log into my on the foundation site, on the Grambling site, and just donate to the athletic and keep my recurring payments going with different facets of where I want to send it. But this is great because I would love to purchase season tickets, even if I can't go to games. I already told someone, hey, I'll be giving mine away. Not all of them, because we are coming to some, but this is just great to hear. Thanks for sharing that.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention Bailey. I'm sorry, I forgot to let him say his piece about the coaching hire. Go ahead, Bailey.
How you doing, Ray? How you doing, Grand fam? One member of the River Parish Alumni chapter, as well as Danny. I like the hire of Hue Jackson. I love it. Ray, you remember last time we talked, I mentioned about having a name brand.
Right.
That's one of them right there. So the energy is there. You see the commitments coming through. And you see Hue hitting the road hard right now. So I'm energized. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
All right. Appreciate that. I think Amanda had something to say, and then we're going to go with Danny about we talked about fans.
Oh yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but definitely shout out to Greg Jackson. I didn't know him, but world fame, Graham family, give that shout out. But anyway, I really think that we need to be proactive and coming with some ideas to get the fans re-engaged and to kind of restore some of those lost relationships. Like the lady said earlier about the season tickets and just being, I think we need to move away from just being stuck in one mindset. Like these kids are on social media, we need to make sure that we're doing, when I was there, I do remember, I know we've had COVID and all this crazy stuff, but I really think we need to reach out to some vendors. Because I was sharing with my son, like, you guys go with the local vendors and see, maybe have a food truck festival on the day of the home game. Like make it a 2-day event, start some events on Friday, have some events on Saturday. I said, since Adidas is still a sponsor, reach out to Adidas, like, hey, can you come out and just do a simple obstacle course so people can win a free football? Like start beefing up the activities so people will be interested, because we have to be realistic. We are Grambling, but we got to move past just living out Grambling's reputation and continue to build where we kind of fell off at. You know what I mean? We can't get all the fans, but we definitely need to become a united front with the alumni and the kids that are there, and just, making it activities based.
Okay. Danny, I think Danny had something to say about fans.
I'm sorry, you can go to someone else.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk about fans real quick?
I just had a comment about it. What's on my observation about our fans is I was speaking earlier. We kind of bougie. Like let's say it's third down and it's one, you know, and we know, you know, and the announcer said, "Let's hear it from the Tigers, man," and we just flat, you know. It ain't a lot of excitement there. I don't know if because of our winning tradition, we don't, you know, but we gotta, you know, I don't know. It's just something about the Graham uh audience. We can do better in supporting our team when when they're losing. You know, if they lose, you forget it. You know, and I just like to see more enthusiasm, not in just a roar, but in the participation. And one other thing, I'm like 67 years old. I got 50-yard line tickets up front. Man, I gotta go to the restroom. You know, I see many people my generation almost climbing up the mountain. It's like a mountain. We gotta do something about that because it's my generation that's buying the tickets and supporting these games. What am I saying? The stadium is not fan friendly for the baby boomers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ray,
All right.
real quickly, real
Sure.
quickly. Let me tell you what impressed me real quickly. When I was at that FAMU Grambling game, the student section drove the excitement. The student section, they had a DJ. FAMU has a DJ for the student section. And I'm telling you, they were doing swag and surf, and the older, more mature adults were doing it too. Those students drove that excitement on third down. You know, when Graham was on third down, I mean, they drove it. So I think students as well, but they have a student DJ, and it is impressive. I'm just going to say that.
Okay. Well, as someone who grew up here, oh, no, I'm sorry, let me get to somebody else. Anybody else want to talk about that? About fans' perspective? Okay. Well, when I was growing up, it was a different time. You know, there wasn't a lot of distractions that were around, you know, in the 70s, you know, when I was growing up here in Grambling. And I've always said whenever I promote season tickets is that we have to be able to add on as we lose. As each year comes, we need to add more than the people that we're potentially losing when it comes to the elderly that can't get to the games, they're deceased and they cannot get to the games, or they've lost interest because they don't have help to get to the games. So we need to, as our students graduate, we need to encourage them then, even if you give them season tickets their first year out. This is just a suggestion. Just give them season tickets their first year out. And maybe that will warrant, get them to come. And then next year, of course, they have to pay for it, but you got their information of where they are. You can contact them. And with the new system, hopefully they will have be able to access that and engage in that new system and become season ticket holders when they're fresh out of college, because they've been given tickets. Tickets were part of their fees when they came, so they were getting free tickets for 3, 4, 5 years. Now it's time to give back, and I think we need to stress upon them again. Just because you can't make the game, you might not be able to make any of them, but this is a donation to the university, to the student athletes, to the fans, to whatever, to help make this better. So when they come back, they can have lower level restrooms like Mr. Wilson was speaking of. They can have concession runners that go down to the lower levels and hand out and provide concessions for people down on the lower levels. So I know when I was coming up in high school band, we would do that for the university. That was part of our little fundraising thing, that we would go down and we would be food concession runners, popcorn, drinks, whatever. And we would go down and do it up and down in the stands and things like that. So that those are options. Even something maybe for some of the social groups that are on campus, a way to raise funds for themselves is to help try to do this. Because if let's just say 12,000 people come through the gate, that's 12,000 tickets that were sold. That's probably half, you say about maybe a third of the people have cars. So that's vehicle parking that they've done. And so, but everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat when they come through that door, those gates. So if you want to make it easy for them, send runners down there, expand the base of the concessions to where you have the lines are not as long, maybe get more help to get the lines going faster, things like that. And we could always, we can always do that. And these are suggestions. And I would suggest that you forward this information to the athletics director, and just let them know. And I think the more people that do that, the more they'll pay attention to it and see a need for it to happen. I just don't want them to just say, okay, well, the way to raise more money is to raise the ticket price. I don't like that concept. And I'm pretty sure there may be a season ticket increase. Hopefully, I think the increase will be because there is another home game. That's what I'm hoping that the increase is going to be for. But again, I don't think we need to rush with the 4 games. I think it's 4 games necessary for this first season, in my opinion, because it's a good way for the fan base to, show what we can do with 4 games, because we haven't had 4 games in the season in a while. So it gives the fan base a chance and the administration a chance to see what we can do with that. The other thing the university has to do is they need to get that, get the season tickets out there, get the schedule out there so people can start making their plans and make sure that they can become available to go to these particular games. So that's what that's what I'm hoping from a fan / ticket perspective. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, and also along with that, the tailgate, thing, it's a real good way for for the university to make some more money. We've bought our season tickets and also just bought a tailgate pass. That's just extra money as well. So, the last administration did well getting extra sites out there. But I think if we're going to push the season tickets, let's go ahead and maybe push the tailgate stuff too. It's extra money that, athletic department can get. And it's worked well for us. And we've just invited people to come. Even if they didn't come to the game, we just say, hey, y'all just come to our tailgate. We make it for all the, high school kids we know or whoever else. Hey, just come see their environment, come see what it's like. Take them to the bookstore. That also works well too.
Right. And the more people on campus, the more people that have the opportunity to purchase things for Grambling, and it goes directly to Grambling. Because a lot of times when it comes to some of these games, especially homecoming, Grambling gets very little in the grand scheme of things when it comes to direct funds, because when they're making the reservations, Grambling doesn't get any part of the airline. They don't get any part of the rental car. They don't get any part of the hotel. They don't get any part of the restaurants that are that are not in Grambling. So eating in the caf, buying things from the bookstore, buying things that are officially licensed products help the university. And then of course, buy a ticket, go in the game. Go in the game. The coaches, the fans, the student athletes, the cheerleaders, the band, they need to see you in the stands, cheering, engaged. So I'm hoping that we can get that new level of engagement, and we have to start trying to, we used to have, band songs that the fans would get into. It seemed like I don't want to start talking about that, but it seems like we've gotten away and we let other schools take songs that are ours and we've been known for us, and they're playing them now like it's theirs. So we need to claim those things back. We need to get if it comes from and again, I throw my hat to Jackson. Even this is pre-Dion. This had nothing to do with Dion. I mean, when you heard "Get Ready," you knew that Jackson State's marching band was coming in. You knew that. So you knew that you need to get to your seats, because when they went up that ramp and they started marching to their section, that those drum majors are going to put on the show. Those J sets are going to put on the show. And, each section is going to have their little thing that they do to get the band, to get the fans excited about the game. So I'm not saying we have to go do all that, but I'm just saying just the things that we have been doing, like, do that chant swag, do, Rocks the House, I thought you knew. All of those things are things that Grambling has been associated with, but have gotten away from us, and other schools. I mean, I think about 3 or 4 schools are doing their version of GSU. I thought you knew. You know, there's at least 3 or 4 schools that are doing that in our conference, and they play it like it's theirs, and they have no shame about it. So, but again, I think Mr. Beslin has something to say.
Yeah, I was just going to tell the brother, yeah, I'm 69. I know how it is, how it is to walk up the steps. I had the lady in the ticket office change my seat number. I didn't lose much as far as where I was sitting. I'm about on the 45-yard line, and I'm up on row 48 right now, and it's a good. It looks real good from up there. So you may want to change your seats, man. And I don't have far to walk to get to the top. So and I'm thinking it will probably be a good idea. It would probably be a good idea to check with her and ask her to move your seats. And you don't want to lose where you're sitting as far as looking at the field. But I believe she can move you up. I believe she can move you up if you get a hold of her early enough.
Yeah, trust me. There's plenty of space to move up. In the higher in the section. So I'm sure Bridget will be able to help you with that if you need to. We had somebody that came on, Terry Benjamin. Terry? Okay, Terry, you're gonna have to participate. We are participating with the call, so you're gonna have to participate. Let's talk about what is something else that you guys want to talk about.
Hey, Ray, I just wanted to mention right quick, you made a great point with the runners. If they can get more, for people who don't have to use the bathroom, if they have to get more people actually going down and selling, that would also help with the line. And me having a new chapter, that may be something that I'll be really interested in for all the games that we do attend, to maybe offer that service. So if you hear it, I'll just let you know up front, I'm thinking about what you said.
Okay. And again, contact the school, contact the athletic, whatever department you have you want to contact them directly, because if you don't say anything, they assume, that everything is okay when no one's saying anything. So, and if one person is doing it, 2 people, but if, 50, 60, 100, 200 people are saying the same thing, then they'll pay attention to it. Unfortunately, that's what it sometimes takes to get things done, but it'll happen if you do that. So, yeah, that's definitely something that we need to look out for. And another thing I want to say is encouraging people to come to games. I know it's hard, especially for for people that are elderly and may not have the assistance, someone to help to take them to the games and things like that. I think it's important that we meet our fans where they are, and what I mean is, if we need to make online viewing better and easier for the fans that are maybe local that can't come to the game. Obviously, we need to make it easier for the people who can never come to the games, that are far away, that can't make the games, because that's an additional revenue stream of people coming, and that money goes directly to the department. So, and of course, we need to take care of the TV center as well, because the TV centers are, still not, the students are some of the ones that are running these cameras and being the technical directors for these particular shows. So it helps get them, let them get better equipment in order to make better games, the viewership better games. So, if you can't make the games, watch the game on the internet. Even if, maybe that's a way, even if you can't, you're a season ticket holder, that might be a way to say, hey, I'm a season ticket holder, I can't make the games, but could I get, use that as free viewership for watching it online? I think that's a really good compromise for the people who are season ticket holders who know that they can't make the games. I think that'd be a good gesture for the university to do in order to help them out, as for their act of kindness and donation. So, anybody want to talk about? Oh, you know what I want to get to? Is anybody want to talk about tickets and fans right quick, and then we're going to switch subjects? Okay, we good? All right,
Ray,
go ahead.
Ray, I'm going to have to call you because I have a lot to talk about.
Okay.
But one thing is that I purchased that all Tiger access. And one time I was watching, and for me, I'm a Grambling grad. Hey, to me, it's a donation. But I was watching a watch party one time because I like watch parties. And the different angles they were showing through that app, it was dark. On one angle, I understood what they were trying to do. They were trying to be ESPN-ish, but it was dark. It looked like 1970s. So the person that purchased that game, that was the Texas Southern Grambling game, they were like, they couldn't even stream the whole game because they were like, Grambling, this is bad. I paid for this. I'm not an alum of the school. We got to get these angles together because some of the camera angles were dark, some of them were the right color. So I'm just saying what I heard other people say that did not graduate from Grambling and they paid to watch the game. Right. So I'm just hoping maybe we need to donate more to Mass Comm. I don't know, but for me, I'm okay. Like I say, I purchased the all access, but for other people that are interested in Grambling, we have more interest. People are going to want to watch Hue coach. So that's just my 2 cents.
Well, the thing about it, we have to understand is that, there are a lot of the teams that we play, their fans can't make the game either. So this is an opportunity, this is a revenue stream, an opportunity to get more money because they want to follow their teams as well. They can't get on the road and come down to Grambling, when they need to also. So I think it's important to let that be known so that when it comes to these types of things, when you talk about expanding the viewership and getting really good sponsors and things like that, you're going to want to get, everything needs to be on par with the way things are done. So it may mean bringing more seasoned people in to handle it. From a thing. I'm not trying to take anything from the students, but when we talk about these types of money and these types of investments, you got to make sure the best people are on board with it. They can still learn the process, but they don't necessarily have to be running the process in order for it to be effective. So I definitely agree with you. And if you could see all the texts I've had to some of the people that are running the broadcast, you understand. I understand what you're talking about. So let's kind of switch channels to recruiting. Let's get on the recruiting bandwagon. We're 48 hours from having our coach named, and from my count, I think we've got 13 that have been offered, and that's my rough count of the the social media things that have been put out there. About 13 within 48 hours, and that's good. I mean, that's splash. It's exciting. It gets you ready. I'm hoping that translates into season ticket sales and going on the road and being involved and things like that. Purchasing those items, the memorabilia and apparel and things for the university. From what I understand, that we only have one from those 13 committed, and that's a guy named J.R. Waters. If I'm not mistaken, I saw that he was committed, so that's great. And he's out of
California.
Yes.
Right.
And he's asking people, and he's asking Graham, he said, Graham fan, where you at? I'm big on Twitter, so I see all of these posts. Right. I know what he said, Graham fan, where you at? So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
No, that's good. But Katrina, drop that. If you could drop me a link for that, and I'll put it out there, and we'll blow him up. We'll definitely let him know where we are.
He got blown up. He definitely got blown up.
Okay, good. And we want them all to feel that they are welcome when it comes to Grambling. So there's a lot of he's hitting up Inglewood pretty hard out there. So I know there's some friends of mine that went to Inglewood that's loving that. He's hit up a couple of I think by my count 3 quarterbacks so far. So I mean, with him being a former quarterback, he definitely knows, and he's having him coach quarterbacks before, he definitely knows what he's looking for and what he needs. So That's not to say that all of them will sign with us. I'm sure he hasn't had time to assess everything, all of our current student athletes, and I'm sure that's going to be a thing. I did hear that we had I want to say significant, we had some of our players, jump into the portal. I knew that they would, and it had nothing to do with, Coach Jackson. They just, they jumped into the portal like thousands of other players have from across the country. It's not like it's just us. It's a lot of people in that portal. So I think that loophole is going to change. Hopefully it changes pretty soon. I understand why they did it because of the COVID situation and that kind of thing. And I'm hoping by at least, I think I heard 2024 is when they are thinking about closing that loophole where you can just flip every year. And I think that's enough time to kind of get everything back to some sort of normalcy. What do you guys think about the recruits that you've heard so far? Let's go with Kirk.
I'm equally excited about the recruits. I think the name alone will bring talent. I think when you look at the big picture, I think the coaching experience, and I know Prime is a big name, but I think Hue Jackson having that coaching experience, he can articulate to the athletes what he's looking for, the professionalism that he carries himself in. I think that alone is going to make, because again, student athlete, we want our athletes to be students first and high performers out on the field. And again, I think this is the right direction. 48 hours, I'm happy with that many that you've seen. And I'm sure as the month goes along, there'll be a lot more. And I'm very optimistic.
Okay, awesome. And if anybody, wants to use that raise your hand feature so I can call you directly, without me having to cold call on you, feel free to do that. I know Andrew has some thoughts about the recruits. Go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of recruit, I like what I see so far, but I'm looking for commitments. I see where, you're hearing a lot of chatter, but we're not hearing commitments. I just checked your website. We got 2 wide receivers, I believe, since we've been talking. But I like to see some recruitment on half of former Grambling Knights coming back to assist him in coaching, particularly Bruce Eugene. And I had heard some chatter, rumor about his name. I posted it on the website, and I hadn't heard anything about it. I don't know if it's just a rumor or what, but I think the Graham family wants to see some Grambling Knights name on the roster. The coach. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I know on the website, gogrambling.com, you hear a lot of that, and I don't think anybody would object to Bruce coming back as a quarterback coach or offensive coordinator somewhere. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, we're gonna get to the assistants, pretty soon. Right now, we're talking about the recruits. So if anybody has anything about recruits, go ahead, Amanda.
I just want to say I second that motion as far as Bruce Eugene. Like I said, I was a trainer those couple of years. He was there, great athlete, very
Okay,
dedicated.
Amanda, excuse me. We're going to talk about assistants. Yeah, we're going to talk about the assistants a little bit later on. We just want to kind of stay on topic we're talking about recruits right now. So if anybody has any comments about recruits or recruiting, let me say this off the surface. I do believe that Coach Jackson is going to exhaust all of his resources to try to find the best players, regardless of where they are. He will go where they are and recruit where they are to find the best student athletes for Grambling State University. I have no doubt about that. So I do appreciate the people who have shown interest in the university. And I think if we happen to be on those social media platforms and we see a student athlete say that they have gotten an offer from Grambling State University, like them, give them a like, do whatever you can that's within the rules of the NCAA. to acknowledge that, yeah, hey, come to Grambling. Absolutely, come to Grambling. Coach Jackson is doing the thing, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan. I'm gonna let y'all know off the top that Hue that thing. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. I understand it. I'm just not a fan of that Hue that. No. I hope. I know it's gonna run like wildfire. It's gonna be shirts and stuff done. I already know it. I already know, but I just can't stand it. But anyway, who else? It had nothing to do with. It had anything to do with the Saints. Nothing to do with the Saints, because I don't have an NFL team. My only team is Grambling State University. Go ahead, Sean John.
Yeah,
Love that. I'm sorry.
can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
I'm definitely not a Hue that, because I'm about the boys. So,
I should watch it now.
No, wait. Hold on.
No, can't do that.
Who that? Wait a minute, hold on. Let me see this straight.
How about
Who
them
that?
boys?
Who that is different from Hue that?
I know it's Hue
Okay,
that, but that's why I said Hue that. I don't want to make sure we correct that.
Yeah. That's the thing I have that is too close, and then people are gonna be thinking that you're saying this and you're saying that, and
Never wear that.
But go ahead, Sean.
Let me say this. I was at the LHA 5A and a 4A state championship game. He was all over the place. That was a beautiful thing to see on the sideline, the LHA Sugar Bowl deal. I saw him talk to Bryce Brown. How many times I've been telling you about Bryce Brown? And in the car, I saw him reach out to Helen Cox and Warren Easton guys. And so the thing I'm excited about, and looking at this guy, and I was a little reserved, but he's recruiting and he's out on the road running. And I'm glad to see he was at the LHA making notes and making inways with the coaches and everything. I think that's very important. Recruiting New Orleans and all of Louisiana, and I could say I like the quarterbacks come out of California, the wide receivers. The guy that I understand from Memphis, supposed to be the recruiting coordinator, the receiver. This guy's supposed to be pretty special, and we'll get into that probably with the coaches later on. But I'm just excited to see him recruit high school kids, be involved with high school kids in the area.
Okay, I think Mr. Bessler, did you have anything to say?
No, Ray. I was going to wait for the assistance topic to come on.
Yeah. Right. Hey, real quick. This is William again.
Okay, go ahead.
Where are we? I heard someone mention that you're tracking or keeping track of the recruits on your website.
Yes.
Okay. What excuse me for ignorance, but what website is that?
Just type in your Google "Go Grambling."
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Go Grambling. It'll come up on pro boards.
Yep.
And I'm actually in the process of revamping the site. So there's some links and things that are not in the, not currently working right now, but we're revamping some things that are going to be updating the site. So, but if you type in Go Grambling, it'll bring up it's under pro boards. It'll bring up Go Grambling / pro boards.
Yep.
Yeah. And I encourage everybody who wants to kind of get deep into, because we go really deep. I mean, we talk about things, we get it all out. And we talk frankly about things there that I don't talk about on any other social media platforms. So
gotcha.
So that'd be great.
Yeah, I heard we had two. You mentioned a couple of wide receivers, and we're looking at some QBs. But do we have any kids that have actually committed so far?
As far as I know, like I said, I mentioned J.R. Waters, the wide receiver. That's one. I think Andrew said that he was looking at the site and we maybe have another one. But right now, with it being so early, all you're going to get are people that have been offered. Because again, the situation is brand new. I mean, actually, literally brand new. So I don't know if there's going to be any student athletes that are going to say right off the top, say yes. Because they have to, Coach Jackson is new to them in the respect of being at Grambling. So, and we have to understand that some of those schools, some of those student athletes probably have never heard of Grambling. So it's a kind of getting to know you kind of situation. And I know with signing day coming up, hopefully, let's just say we get 15 right now. By the time signing day comes around, we may have 25 people that have been contacted. So if we play in the numbers, let's just say we get half of those, we're still in good company because, you know, now we're fitting, you know, we're trying to get those needs because let's be real, you know, we're in need of every position, you know, for the most part, even if it's some of its, you know, backup, you know, support. We need every position. So it's not like we can be, you know, picky. We need offensive linemen. We need wide receivers. We need, you know, fullbacks. We need tight ends. We need offensive, defensive linemen, linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, kickers, punters,
We got a
holders.
kicker now. We
Oh,
got a kicker.
who?
That guy that kicked all them field goals. He's just a freshman.
That guy's not a freshman.
He a junior.
That guy's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah,
freshman.
he's a junior.
Oh, well, he'll be a senior next year.
Yeah. We need kickers.
All right.
Because if he gets hurt, then who's gonna kick?
Bring him on.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need depth. We need depth.
I have a question,
Quality depth.
Ray.
Sure, go ahead.
I would want to know the possibilities for the walk-ons because I know I was trying, just for myself, and then a lot of people reached out to me asking about the chance of the walk-ons because, like, you talked about the portal, you talked about the recruits, so it's already some sort of saturation. So I know I was told it was over 200 kids just on the waiting list just for the walk-on.
Wow.
Which that'll be happening in January. So that'll be, I just want to know what you think about that.
Well, if it's anything like that has happened in the past, various coaches have had the opportunity for the student athletes to walk on. I think, they have to pass, physicals and certain things like that. I think it's really based on the need. If the coach feels that there's a need for depth and or starters and players, because I don't know if you guys remember Mario Lewis. You guys remember Mario Lewis, 2011? He was a guy that, even though he was on Broadway's team for a couple of years, he was basically a walk-on, and he ended up being probably one of our better receivers that we had
Exactly,
during
right.
that period of time. So I'm sure that if there's a need for the coaches need a walk-on, for people to walk on, I'm pretty sure he's gonna, because again, walk-ons and walk-ons, there's no guarantees there. But I mean, if he can find a player 2 or 3 or 4, especially if it fits the need, that he can't get in the regular recruiting circles, then you never know. So I think there's just going to be opportunity for a walk-ons like they have been in the past. Probably going to be around February or so, like January, February. Not sure when camp starts. Probably March, April.
Yeah, because I think
March.
they've already put that out. I just want to ask
Really?
ask the question.
Oh, that's
Yeah, because my son is planning to we're looking at that as an option for him because his freshman year, Grambling didn't do any recruiting last year.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
So like I said, it was a lot of kids that were looking to be recruited, but nothing was going on because of COVID and then whatever the team had going on. So you're gonna have a lot of kids that are not just at Grambling, but just from what I've heard at other schools that, especially at Jackson State and Southern, that walk-on base is pretty strong as well.
Well, I'm impressed. I mean, if we got that amount of people so far to walk on, that's impressive. And
Right, that's just what I was told. Like it was over.
And if that's actually the case, then it's really impressive and leads to the point of the hire. Is because if all that can be generated in less than 48 hours, I'm impressed. And I don't get impressed easily, but that's impressive if that is actually the case. So anybody else have anything to say about the recruits, about recruiting and recruits? And I will say again, I think that the coach is going to recruit everywhere. I don't think he's going to say, I'm not going to go here, I'm not going to go there. And we as parents, we as fans, we as community people have to understand that Grambling cannot take every single person. everybody that we think may be a great star may not be a great star in the eyes of the coaching staff. But I think what the coaching staff and the university does owe to those people who call in, email in, send information, they do, I think they should get a response. Even if it's just a, carbon copy letter. Hey, we appreciate you sending your information. If we like the tape that we see or the video that we see, we will contact you. That at least lets you know that it's been seen, it's been accepted. And I think that's what we've been missing, is that we haven't been getting that acceptance. And we're able to now, and again, anybody can do it. It could just be a GA. It doesn't necessarily have to be a coach. Whoever takes that information in, whoever accepts, hey, okay, we got John Smith. Okay, hey, we shoot John Smith off of, a form letter, acknowledging that we've received, not necessarily that you looked at it, but you've received it. And so, because sometimes it may be a mix-up, they may not know if you've even gotten it or not. So that kind of frustration, especially for a parent that has a student, a potential student athlete, you want to at least know that they got it. So, but you also have to understand that, Grambling cannot take, we're limited by scholarships. We can't take everybody. So there may be opportunity that your student athlete may not make the cut, even if they do receive the information that you send in, whether it be by email or, those sorts of things. So with that being said, I think we're going to pivot to assistants, to assistant coaches. I think we need to tread lightly here, because until I know that a person has been hired, and knowing that the hiring process and getting the background checks and all that stuff doesn't take place overnight. It's a process. So we can talk about the names that have been mentioned. I don't think we want to say that they're actually hired by Grambling State University, because that process is a lengthy process. And it's not something that just because Coach Jackson wants them, it goes beyond that from HR perspective. So let's talk about coaches. Who wants to talk about the assistants? Amanda, was that you that wanted to talk about them?
Oh yeah, I mean I kind of mentioned it when you guys talked about Bruce Jean, and I know for some reason a lot of people on social media was like, no, but I think you can't please everybody, but I think Bruce Jean will be great just because his coaching ability and then his own ability as a quarterback from and like I said, I had a chance to get to personally know him. I mean, his skill set is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the only thing that happened with Noah, Noah's just a little immature. Noah has a lot of room to grow, but Noah was also a phenomenal. He was one of the top recruits last year,
Right.
as far as the quarterback. And I have seen the guy reach out to this JUCO quarterback, Rivera. And so he's really looking. And then I don't know the kid's name that coached the quarterback, the Bayou Classic. I really think he, to me, I think he's a junior. I can't remember his name. But anyway.
John Paul Pierce?
Yeah, he was really good because he read that field really well. I'm not saying 100% just a football guru, but I liked his maturity, his wisdom, and then, just his ability to read those plays. So I think that him creating this recruiting buzz is also going to bring the assistance that we need. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with the other guy, bring back some of those guys that were invested in Grambling. As far as the strengthening, conditioning coaches, things like that. But I really am team Bruce Eugene,
Okay.
It's me.
All right. Drew, I know you had those same sentiments, right?
No, ditto to what she said, what the sister said. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like to see him return to Grambling.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I would like to see Bruce Eugene in some capacity at the university. Absolutely, I would. And because I think whenever you have the opportunity to bring the all-time leading, all-time leading quarterback in your school's history. Somebody who knows some history about the university, because I don't think that we should ever have a staff where there's not one person on the staff that can relate, to a Grambling person when we're on the road, or have some sort of, ideas about, some history of Grambling State University in some capacity. It doesn't have to necessarily be in one of those high-end position coaches where, like a coordinator or anything like that. But I just think even in this transitional period, you kind of want somebody who knows the players on this team. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a coordinator. It could be one of the assistant coaches. But I'm really waiting to see who he brings in as the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, because those positions, I think, more than any other of the position coaches, will be the key factor to our success.
Oh yeah.
Initially, up front,
Very
what type of offense do we run? What kind of defense do we run? We've seen, that was that the run pass option thing that's been, permeating through the NCAA. We've seen our offense, our defense, which I'm not a particular fan of, but we've had that for 8 years. I think the only way you can run that defense, you just got to have some dogs, man. You have to have some dogs running that defense in order
in
to
those trenches, huh?
Yeah, to get that penetration in order to do that. Because if you don't, anybody with a decent run offense can just kill you with the run and throwing right behind the coverage and things like that. But that's I don't know a lot about football, but that's just my limited knowledge of it. I know Bailey's got something to say. Go ahead, Bailey. I guess he's on the phone. Okay. Anybody else wants to talk about the assistants?
Yes, I would like to talk about the assistants.
Who am I talking? Who am I with?
This is Robert.
All right, go ahead, Robert.
We need to look at a match. Well, hopefully Coach Jackson will bring in persons who, as I said earlier, who are committed to excellence and committed to building on our foundation already. And also, we need to be able to find a way to compensate those assistants. And if it means other groups putting some finance on the table to help with the getting the top assistants, then we need to look at that. But we need to bring in the best offensive mind for the coordinator position, and also the defensive coordinator, and then build a staff around those individuals that are going to be committed to building a strong program.
I agree. Thank you.
But we got to pay them.
Yeah, and that's that's always going to be a line of contention, because we're going into a different territory. I mean, to have a coach that was a 2-time NFL coach, to have a coach that has mentored at least 2 Heisman Trophy candidates. One, to put it in real perspective, Coach Jackson mentored Jeremy Hickbottom, and Jeremy Hickbottom played for us. Okay, and as much I know as that young man was, in some people's eyes, public enemy number 1, Jerry Hickbottom was all second team all OVC at Tennessee State. He only played 6 games, I think. He was injured the time when he played us. He was coming back from the effects of COVID. I think he didn't really get going until maybe like the 3rd game of the season, with his health and going back. But that kid was number 1 in efficiency. I think he was maybe 2 or 3 in yards. I mean, that's and I know we some people ridiculed that young man, but he that's what a different coaching mindset will do. I mean, that kid didn't make anything in the SWAC, but this kid went, and I'm not saying that the OVC is better. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he went from that to, what we thought and what I thought that he could become, which was an efficient quarterback that ran the system, knew his limitations, the coaches knew his limitations, and he was able to get some things going. And what we have to understand is that you have to have a lot of things in place. You can have the best quarterback in the world, but if your line is not blocking, he's going to get killed. You can have the best quarterback in the world. If his receivers are not catching the ball, he's going to get killed. And yes, occasionally, quarterbacks do throw interceptions. They do throw interceptions, but we can't. And I know that the quarterback position is supposed to be the top position in offense and things like that. But if he doesn't have the support around him, he's going to just be. If he's not good, he's not going to be great. If he's okay, he's not going to be great or good. He's just going to be average or below average. So, all those things come into play. And all I can hope from a coach is that every player is judged fairly. I hope that all the coaches don't do well, I didn't recruit him, he's not my recruit, kind of thing, that everybody gets to be judged on their own merits and what they do and what the potential that they can become inside the program. So the two assistants that have been mentioned are was it Chris Scott Jr. and John Simon. Chris Scott Jr., some of you may remember Chris Scott Sr. He was an assistant at Grambling under Doug Williams the first time around. He was, I think, the O-line. I think he was the O-line coach. That's his son. So he has some Grambling ties with that. I remember some of the players saying they remember him roaming the halls of the complex and being a little bratty kid kind of thing. So he knows about Grambling and he understands. I do echo what some people have been saying about wanting somebody from Grambling on staff. I personally do. I'm not saying what position or whatever. I would just like to see somebody with an actual Grambling player with ties, those type of ties. And we have them out there. We have people like Bruce. We have Clyde Edwards. We have Tremont Douglas. We have the coach from Edna Carr. We have coaches out there that have put in work and are experienced coaches with winning backgrounds that can do the work. I would like to see that happen personally. If the coach decides not to go that route, he's the coach and it is what it is on that note. So I hope he at least reaches out to them like he has been doing and letting them know and whatever ties that we didn't have, I hope he's opening up new avenues and going in the doors that we had not been able to get into, may not have been able to get into prior to. So anybody else want to talk any more about the assistants?
No, Ray, just to close that out, I do think it'd be a good opportunity for Bruce to get, because again, we got to think towards the future. We know what the deal is for Coach Jackson. And of course, we want to see success for it. But again, like you said, we want to groom someone to be kind of help them see what the future looks like. And we don't know what kind of start we'll get off of, but I do think it's a good opportunity for maybe a Bruce to get just that title, assistant, maybe game day coordinator or something like that, just to kind of set him up for success. But I think with the name alone, I think Hue will be able to bring in most of the staff that he wants, and we probably could get it for the financial side that we're looking for too.
Okay, that's great. Let's talk. We want to talk about. Let's see. We kind of harped a little bit on player retention, with the recruits coming in and the coaches paying attention to them as well as the ones that they're going out. Okay, I want to talk about this. And I said this when Dion was hired at Jackson. I said Dion would be there 2 years. I said 2 years. And I think that we have to, and touch on what Kirk said, we have to understand the climate. If Coach Jackson is successful at Grambling, you have to understand and you have to be realistic to know that there are going to be some other teams that are going to want him. That's reality. So they're going to, if especially a winning coach, if he comes in and we go, from 4-7 to 7-4, 8-3, that's significant increase for this particular time. We've been 6-5, I think, in 2017 and 2018, 6-5. But I think you have to understand that those are the climates. So that's why I say having somebody on the staff that's kind of that person, that can be that force that's going to be there, a consistent force that can be there for the team, is important, because you have to know that those coaches are going to be, I call headhunted. They're going to be headhunted. Okay, they're definitely going to be headhunted. So I think that we as fans have to understand that we can't. That's the climate now. So if in 2 years or 3 years or whatever we see that happen, we can't be surprised at that. We have to understand that that's just the climate. So we as fans need to make sure that we're doing our part. And that's the other thing I want to say. We as fans, we need to do our part. We have to let people know, hey, there's a game this weekend. The schedule's out. Pass the schedule on to all your friends. The more people that are aware about things that are going on is going to be important to the success of Grambling State University. Grambling State University needs to do their part. They need to send the season ticket packages out. They need to do a marketing campaign, a true marketing campaign, to let people know that Grambling football, Grambling athletics, whether it be whatever sport that is, this is what's going on. They have to improve their website. That's sometimes some people's first window into Grambling is that website. So it needs to be on par, it needs to be correct. If I go to the coaches, the head coach page, I need to see Hue Jackson's name. I don't need to see anybody else's name. I need to see Hue Jackson's name. And obviously, from an HR standpoint, we need to find out, the other coaches on the staff, they may still be employed. So, how does that work out? They have to roll off, and whatever the HR standard is for making sure that those rules of compliance are adhered to. So, but we have to do our part, and doing that, I like the buzz. I like how everybody's excited, but I would like for that excitement to turn into, season ticket sales, going to games, supporting however you can. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, and I've told this on every broadcast that I've done, I'm not sitting around here telling everybody, hey, give $1,000. Give what you can. Give what your finances and your life and your budget will allow you to do. And, and I think that Grambling State University will be fine as long as we have people that are giving what they can. And it needs to be more than just the amount of people that are currently giving now. That needs to be expanded. We need more of our alums to get involved. We need them to do the things that it takes, whether it be referring a neighbor they think that's a good basketball player, or a neighbor that's a good softball player that they saw playing at a summer league or something, whatever that is, because we're the university's biggest recruiters. The alums are our biggest recruiters. So if we're not out there, beating the bushes for Grambling State University, then there's not enough advertising and marketing that the university can pay for that's going to beat what our alums can do in a positive space for the university as far as advertising and marketing and sending people to Grambling State University. Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about at this particular time? We're open to all questions and suggestions. Because I don't want to keep you guys too long, because I know you guys people have work and games to watch and family to attend to. So anything anybody wants to talk about? I know some people are curious about the salaries. Nothing has officially been put out yet, other than the fact that it's a 4-year deal. I was told that it was kind of mimicking the contract that Fobbs had, obviously with more base. That's all I know at this particular time, or all I'm willing to share at this particular time. So I do know, I have heard that it's, a roundabout figure, but it was more than what Coach Fobbs was getting, but the same amount of years, but still around the 300, between the 300 and the 300 and 370-ish range. So I know people were thinking that we were going to be, 450,000 or something like that. That's not the case. Obviously, with the incentives, there's going to be incentives laden as well. So whatever the previous contract was saying, I'm sure those are going to be along the same lines of incentives that will be for Coach Jackson as well. So, and there may be some new things. I know that he usually gets, the coaches usually get a vehicle that's donated to them. Excuse me? Okay. They usually get a vehicle that's donated to them. So I'm sure that that'll be the case as well. So not sure what it is right now, but each of the past coaches have had a BMW at their disposal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure it'll probably be the same thing as well. So let me ask this question by show of hands. How many on the call are season ticket holders? By show of hands, whether it be Facebook Zoom hands or personal hands. Okay. All right. Well, how many people are going to become season ticket holders now?
I definitely am.
Okay, that's awesome. See, that's what we're talking about right there. Whatever.
Ray, I'm driving, but I
have a question, Ray.
As well.
All right, I appreciate it, Mr. Stewart.
And I will be getting season tickets myself.
Okay, awesome.
I have a question,
I'm driving right now, but I'm season ticket holder, and we'll have some more this year.
All right, awesome. Appreciate that. All right, go ahead.
A question, Ray.
Yes.
For those of us who travel with the team, does Grambling have any way where when we go into places like Alcorn and when we go into these other places where they give Grambling a certain number of tickets, we can buy the ticket through Grambling and give Grambling the money rather than pay these other schools? I mean, it is done at other institutions.
I have seen that happen. I've seen it happen at Grambling. I've seen it where some schools are requiring the university to pay for the tickets in advance.
And they shouldn't have a problem with that.
Well, they from a financial standpoint, you don't know if let's just say they give them 500 tickets.
Right.
So that means the university's got to pay for 500 tickets, not knowing if 500 people are going to actually buy those tickets. They can't give them back because they have to buy
Right.
it. So I can understand the university not trying to get in that space, because if you start to do that and then people don't buy the tickets, you're stuck with the tickets. So I think until the university does that, because I know that there's some schools that some schools that we visit don't follow that particular model,
Right.
but some do.
Right.
Some of them may be the lower BCS schools that we play. They may be the ones that are implementing those types of things. Some of them give them tickets for a certain amount of time. When that time is elapsed, they send them back to the school.
Right.
That has happened as well. So to answer your question specifically, yes and no. I think it's just I don't think there's a standard policy that every visiting team that we go to, that there's a set rule for that particular process. I don't think that there is one. I think it's kind of a rolling kind of situation where it varies depending on what the contract says.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Let me see if I can put my hands on. I know we're playing, for those who don't know, we are already playing. First of all, I don't know when homecoming is. Okay, I don't know when homecoming is. I'm gonna say that off the top because I know that's gonna be probably the first question, 1A or 1B. I don't know when homecoming is.
When it's only two options.
No, actually, from what I've seen, there's only really one. It's only really one option, but I'm not gonna say anything. We do. Okay. The first game is gonna be Arkansas State. The Red Wolves. They used to be Arkansas Indians.
Yeah.
from Jonesboro, Arkansas. We played them a while back. Matter of fact, we played them in the playoffs when they were in division, at the time, I think it was Division 2.
1AA, yeah.
One AA. We played them in a playoff game there. So it's Jonesboro, Arkansas. It's the I don't have the date on my phone out. I thought I printed the schedule out. But the next game, the next week is going to be Northwestern, and we play them in Shreveport, Louisiana. So first game is in Jonesboro, Arkansas, not Louisiana. And then the next one is going to be Northwestern in Shreveport. We are playing, or the next question I know some of you guys are going to ask, as of right now, Jackson is not on the regular season schedule.
Will not be.
Not right.
It's a 2-year rotation.
Right. So they're not on the schedule at this time. And I think I got a glimpse of the 2023 schedule, and they're not on there as well. But that may change because that schedule is not fully out yet. That's still a work in progress. The 2023 schedule is still a work in progress. So there's only about 4 games that are pretty much locked in, which we know is the Bayou Classic, the State Fair Classic. You know, those games are pretty much locked in. But I do know as of right now that Jackson is not on the schedule. The only way we'll be able to play them is if we play them for the championship. So that's that. That is if they make it, and that's if we make it. So there's really no surprises. The only, right now we have 3 home games. There's an opportunity for a 4th home game or another away game somewhere. I would like for us to see maybe on a 2-year rotation to go to LA, to the West Coast, and then go to the East Coast. I'd like to see that kind of thing. And I know there's been some talk about home games, and what we have to understand off the top is that we have the Bayou Classic and the State Fair Classic, which are division teams that we've been playing annually. So that takes away 2 opportunities for a home and home with somebody. So most schools will have 4 games, sometimes even have 5, because they don't have as many of those types of games that we have. Southern has the Bayou Classic. I know they were trying to do that thing in Dallas with Texas Southern. Don't know how long that's going to last. Prairie View.
Let me ask a question, Ray.
Sure, go ahead.
So the State Fair Classic, what kind of revenue do you think we generate from that compared to if we was to do a home and home?
If you're talking about actual dollars, or you talking about ancillary marketing and things like that, I don't think there's a comparison.
Dollars come back to the school. That's all.
Well, I mean, it is, when I say the ancillary dollars are recruiting regular students that
I get that.
That see that as an opportunity to come to Grambling. So that's why I say that game, even though I don't remember off the hand, I have to look at the contract. I don't remember offhand how much of our, what's the word I'm looking for, payout is. I'm not sure right off the top of my head what that payout is, but even if it's, and I'm being generous, maybe 150, and that's generous. And that's not including the travel for the teams. I think the teams and the bands travel is not included in that figure.
So what I'm getting at is we're talking about having having our face out there for recruitment. When you give away a home game, that's one less game you can have kids do a recruiting trip. You lost a recruiting trip opportunity right there by doing a State Fair Classic, so to speak.
Well, but it's still a recruiting trip because you go into Dallas, and that's a really big market, and there are a lot of schools out there. So it's actually another recruiting trip for us. And now you're talking about it, because I do know that the recruiting department goes out maybe Thursday, in some cases Wednesday, to Dallas to recruit students. And they hit a lot of schools during that time, and they go into the schools and do, drop off paraphernalia and information about Grambling State University. So I don't think we're losing when we talk about Dallas. I don't think we're losing a recruiting opportunity. Maybe for home, obviously, yeah, it's not at home, but with the amount of alums that are in that area and the amount of schools that are in that densely populated area, it's a win-win. Even if we don't make the base dollar amount from that game, it has its inherent value to play that game. Yes, we should try to negotiate more, obviously. We should try to negotiate more.
Historically, yes, we did see that value, but do we still see the same dollar amount value like we did back then? Yes, I agree that you have recruiting opportunities in the city of Dallas.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
the tickets and everything, and selling merchandise, playing Dallas that 1 week. That's my take on it, though.
Okay, I mean, that's what we're here for, man. We're here for conversation. So yeah, I think that, but from my perspective, I think that I would try to get more money base and still be in Dallas every year, because it's a good place to recruit not only student athletes but students. And it's our biggest market that's closest to us. It's our closest market by a long shot. It's our closest market. So yeah, I mean, and some people look at the game in Dallas as a home game for us. For whatever that's worth, they think of that as a home game for us. But and then the game, like the games in Shreveport, I'm and I know Greg, not Greg, but Drew heard me talk about games in Shreveport. I'm not really for games in Shreveport anymore. I used to like them, but it just hasn't worked out for various reasons. And some of them are not totally to blame with Shreveport, and some of them are totally not to blame with Grambling. It's just it just hasn't worked out. It just hasn't worked out in Shreveport like it should. Being that close to us, we should have a lot bigger draw and following in Shreveport, Louisiana, but we just don't. But
yeah.
Right.
Hey, could I say something there, Ray?
Hold on, let's go ahead. Let's go with Katrina first. Then we're gonna go with Mr. Besley. Go ahead, Katrina.
No, I was just asking. I know Grambling and Southern, we have the Bayou Classic. That's the reason that we wouldn't be able to play in the playoffs, in the FCS playoffs. But I would like to see in the future, when we get our team together, playing some of those teams in FCS that are ranked. Because even though we're not playing in the playoffs because of the Bayou Classic, I think it would be a barometer where we are as far as ranking, because we always complain that we are lower in the rankings, but we're gonna have to play and beat those schools. So I would like to see Grambling move in that direction in the future. We don't have to go to the playoffs, but we can knock off South Dakota or knock off James Madison. Are they going up? I don't know, I can't remember. But just knock one of those, like A&T did. Just knock off one of those teams so we can be higher in the rankings in the future. That's just my personal opinion, because I like to see SWAC schools ranked higher. And the only way we don't play in the playoffs is to knock off some of those South Dakotas or North Dakotas.
Well,
my two oldest boys played for South Dakota. Let's pick on somebody else.
I'm not picking on them. I'm just saying. I'm
just kidding with you.
I'm saying they're ranked. They're usually good teams.
I was just saying my two older boys played for South Dakota.
Okay. Well, and I think it's actually North Dakota's that's the
North Dakota,
better team.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I agree. I agree in a way, and I've been saying this because people have been there are the same argument, Katrina, that people say, well, why not be in the playoffs? I said, well, because somebody told me, I think it was on Facebook, they told me to get respectability from from them. I said, we don't have to go to the playoffs to do that.
Right.
We can play, we can schedule them. And that's
Right.
what, now see that, now in that sense, I don't have a problem with maybe playing in a remote location because I don't want to do a home and home in North Dakota. Now, if we can meet somewhere in the middle and play a game somewhere like that, I don't have a problem with that. But home and home, but again, it just depends on how things.
Why not, Ray? Because it's cold up there.
Yeah, that's exactly and I know they play in the dome. I know they play in the dome. I absolutely know that. But I mean, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I go to the FCS banquet every year in Frisco. I've been going for the past 7 or 8 years. And let me tell you, y'all think, you know, when it comes to FCS travel, let me tell you something. North Dakota Bison,
They travel.
they travel.
Yes.
And there's an app, I forgot the name of it. Oh, it's called Bison Tracker. And if they make the playoffs again this year, download Bison Tracker. And everybody's, you know, that's affiliated with who signs up for the Bison Tracker. It's just like a homing device on their phone. And you can see the migration from the areas that they are coming down to Texas. It's an amazing thing to see. And I've been there, like I said, I'm there every year. And I don't know who they play every year, but all I know is you see green and gold all over the place.
Yeah.
And
You know what? I follow this guy, Ray, Blue Blood on YouTube. Does a great job of talking about the FCS and where the swag and about the swag. And he is so credible. And that's why I learned a lot about FCS. And like North Dakota, that's what I meant to say. That's why I'm familiar with James Madison, North Dakota. And we don't have to, we don't have to play in the playoffs. I'm not advocating for that. But I would just like for us to at least play those teams every once in a while to see, to gauge where we are as far as rankings.
Right. And we played in the playoffs in the Division 1A playoffs at least 3 times in our history.
Right.
We have participated, and that's and during those times, the Bayou Classic was a week earlier. So that's how we were able to participate. It wasn't like, you know, we forego the Bayou Classic. That's how we were able to get in it.
And they moved it, right?
The
They
Bayou
moved
Classic
it
was
a week before.
Well, one time I know it was a scheduling conflict with
the dome.
With the dome. I can't remember which year it was, but it was. I think we played in 80, 85, and some time before that. But there was a scheduling conflict. Oh no, 89. We played 89. We played Stephen of Austin.
Right.
So it was 80, 85, and 89 when we participated in the because Trumaine Johnson was
right. Trumaine was in the early 80s, right?
Yeah, in the early 80s, in the 80s. And I know 89 was Poncho Glover, Fred Jones, and that guy Clemente Gordon, that group. I'm trying to think of when the other one was.
Yeah, but the other thing to that is that you know, we lost just like you were mentioning, Arkansas State. That was a 3-point game. Right. Boise State was a 2 or 3 point game. Yeah. So yeah, Boise State when we went up there. But you know, we were always on the road. You know, when we played in the playoffs, they always want to get you on the road, man. It's hard to host. You know,
right. And it's actually.
Go ahead, man.
There's not a lot of money in it for the host team because the NCAA, I'm telling you, I used to call them the playoffs. I used to call them the pimp offs because they take 99.9% of the funds. Yeah. The host team, the host city invests this money, and you hope that the return is that the people come, they stay in the hotels, they spend money in the city, and the city gets it back from the tax dollars. That's the hope. But I mean, I heard you could barely even sell paraphernalia. They get money off of everything that you do. And so that's, you know, sometimes, you know, in some schools, they're okay with that because it gives them, as long as they get a home field advantage, they'll take a loss to do that because they want to be playing in front of their home fans and they feel that that's, you know, a better thing for them to do than being on the road. So Go ahead, Ms. Bell. I know you had something to say about.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to comment on your Shreveport thing. I've got a big hang up about Shreveport also, particularly if we're playing Northwestern. Last time we played Northwestern, they hardly didn't bring anybody to Grambling.
Right.
So, I'm pretty sure it may be the same thing when we go to Shreveport, and it seems like we'll just lose money. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I understand that definitely, and it may be a situation where they feel that Shreveport is a neutral ground, that they don't have to come onto our campus, and it's like a destination location. So I'm hoping that that's the case, but I don't think that Northwestern has any bigger following than Pine Bluff,
right,
or schools that we know to make a real difference. Because there are some, there's probably some alums of Northwestern in Shreveport,
right?
That they would come to that game, and so I'd rather do that than do a home and home with Northwestern. I'd rather, we go do it. I'd rather play them on a one-shot deal. Don't have to worry about doing, because we'll go there, but they won't come to us.
They won't come to us.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so important that regardless of who we play, we have to get out of this mentality and mindset that we have to, well, that team is, I don't know who that is, whatever. As long as Grambling State University is playing, that's all we need to be concerned about. Who we playing against, inconsequential. That's real support, regardless of who you playing. Because think about it, FAMU, Bethune had been to our campus within the past 5 or 6 years or so. So there's a history there. FAMU had been on this campus in years.
That's right.
I think I was a kid if the last time that they even, if at all.
If at all, I'm thinking back, and I'm going all the way back to the late 60s when I got to Grambling in '69. I can't ever remember them coming on campus. Now we've gone, we were playing the Orange Blossom Classic, which was down in Florida. But I don't believe they ever came to Grambling. I think when they do come, that'll be their first trip to the campus.
Right. And so, and don't think for 1 minute that they're bringing the band, because they're not going to bring that band. They're not going to bring the band up here. Now, the name FAMU may spark interest in our fans. Absolutely. But I think we need to get into the mindset is, I don't care who Grambling is playing, as long as Grambling is playing, I'm going to be at that game. And that's the kind of mentality that we need to have across the board with all of our sports. Hey, Grambling's playing what? They playing the black gold game. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. We're playing VUL or whatever. I'm gonna be there. I don't care who they playing. We playing it. So and I understand people's schedules. I'm not talking about the schedule conflicts. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, hey, I'm not doing, and I know people, we have kids and kids, playing sports. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. That's understandable. I'm just talking about those times when we know we can and we don't. And again, that's where the season, buying the season ticket in advance and helping out the program is important. Because if you can't come, you can still show the support by buying the season tickets. And I think that's going to be very helpful. And I would like to see the season tickets triple. If we can triple this year alone, that's sending a good message to them. So I encourage, for those who are not season ticket holders, become season ticket holders. Tell somebody, if you tell 4 or 5 people and they become season ticket holders, you're doing a tremendous service to the university. So go ahead.
Real quick, I have to go. I have another meeting.
Okay.
So also too, I have some friends, some of my sorority sisters. They donate to the school and they donate to athletics. So I think people also give different ways to the athletic department. For me, I'm committed to. I've always done to the athletic department. This time, I'm going to be a season ticket holder. But I do have friends. I talked to the other day. They just like doing it the way they do it. So we have to respect their decision as well.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And again, but I want us to make sure that we make it easy for that process, whether it be 1 ticket, 2 tickets, 3 tickets, or whatever.
Right.
The university needs to make it accessible and meet the people where they are. There are a group of people, there's some people who are not with the electronics. They barely have email addresses. So we need to contact them by mail or by phone. We still have to do that because we still have a contingency of elderly people. And I don't want to say, and I'm not trying to say it in a bad way, but I'm just saying that people who have been 30 years plus out of Grambling, that, you know, they have email addresses, they have, you know, they have phone numbers, they have physical addresses. They may not be on the social media tip, but we also need to address the social media tip along with how our other people that are 30 years or 25 years plus away from Grambling are living. So whatever it means, by whether it be by mail, phone, text, fax, whatever, we need to be able to meet them where they are in order to get the maximum return on people coming to get season tickets and increasing our budget to get those assistant coaches that we desire, to get the facilities that we need to upgrade on. All that stuff counts. And the university has to do their part by going out and getting corporate sponsors. But again, think about this. Corporate sponsors respond to butts and seats. So if there's no butts in the seats, why would I spend $10,000, $12,000, $20,000 on, you know, on people putting eyes on my marketing campaign if we only have 724 season ticket holders, or I don't I don't remember what the average was for the games, for the home games this year, but the homecoming I think was what 10,866. That was the homecoming attendance.
Okay, I'm about to go, but one other thing, Grambling has to do a better job of energizing the community around Grambling in those towns, because I'm originally from Mississippi, and a lot of the people that go to those Jackson State games are not even alums. They have never stepped foot on the campus to attend school. But Jackson State has galvanized even before Prime. When everybody talked about Jackson State, even if they never went to college. So we got to tap into that some kind of way. I got to go. Thanks for this platform. Hopefully I'll see you guys again in the future.
All right, sweetie. Thanks a lot, Katrina. We appreciate it. All right. And if anybody else has to jump off right now, we certainly appreciate it. We want to make sure you get a word in if you have to get off. But if you do, let me know. Amanda, you had something to say, Amanda?
I agree with her when she's talking about recruiting, building that in the fan base in Mississippi area. Because like I said, I live in Olive Branch, and I actually teach in Memphis. But one thing I can say, I found out, the band director is my sorority sister, and I was teaching. I teach out in Fraser, something, and those kids have never heard of Grambling, don't know anything about Grambling. So it's like, I'm like, I can't believe you guys never heard of Grambling. So we definitely need to do more to, like, if some of us reach out and say, hey, we need some representation in this area, we definitely need to start doing that, galvanizing that sort of thing and building our reputation and just, letting the kids know, hey, we exist, we offer scholarships, great school, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of make our presence known in those areas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other topics that we want to get on before?
I have something, Ray.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Sean St. John, Sean White, 85. What up,
Talk up a little bit, Sean. Talk up a little bit.
Sean, yeah, 85. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to hit a little bit on what y'all were talking about, and more or less with the tickets and stuff. But I think also Dr. Scott definitely needs to look at the athletic administration, because with the new coach and everything and the buzz with Hue Jackson, I think we're gonna get a lot of interest from a lot of outside the borders of Grambling, which is good, and plus our own base. And we got to make sure that we accommodate everybody, be progressive and being proactive in the systems for the ticket sales, the marketing, and all that. And like you said, always responding to all inquiries about everything. Let's pick that up a little bit. Let's do our in-house operation. Let's tighten that up real tight. So when we get this influx of new people that's going to be coming in, I really feel that we got a buzz right now, and we need to make sure that we are on top of everything. That's it.
Okay, we're going to go around the horn and get everybody's closing remarks. about the situation and outlook. It doesn't have to take long, 30 seconds or less. Let's go ahead and go with Beatrice. Beatrice, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, just gotta give your closing remarks about the whole situation.
Okay, well, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to and learning about, some suggestions and opinions of different people on here. And like I say, I will commit to becoming a season ticket holder. I'm at every game, every home game, of course, and I also travel. But I will commit to being a season ticket holder. And I look forward to just enjoying a successful season with Grambling.
Awesome.
Really
I appreciate that. Greg Jackson.
Hello again. I really enjoyed the call. Good times. Always good talking about Grambling with other fellow Grambling Knights. Let's just keep it up. Let's keep the push, and I enjoy it. Thank you all very much.
Okay. Andrew?
Hey, man. This has been great. Thank you, man, Ray, for keeping spirit of Grambling alive through your GoGrambling.com website. Ever since I got on board, man, my wife be like, "Who you texting now?" Man, this website has got me in so much trouble. She think I be texting somebody, but I be on GoGrambling.com, and it's becoming like a family to me, man. I spend a lot of time on this website, so I gotta pay my wife some attention, man. But thankful with all you do, man. You be surprised of how much you appreciate it, man. That's all I got to say.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It's always great to hear the kind words of encouragement, man. And as I tell people constantly, I don't work for Grambling State University. So it's, contrary to popular belief, I do not work for Grambling State University. I'm not on here campaigning on their behalf, but I'm campaigning because I love Grambling State University. I've loved it for a long time through my grandmother, grandfather, my mother, my sister, my father. It's a lot more to me than, just a passing fad. It's something that I actually live, and I've lived, having lived here in Grambling, Louisiana. So I appreciate your kind words. Let's go with Carmelita.
Okay, what was the question, Ray? I'm sorry.
Just kind of wrap up your thoughts about the whole process of the coaches and everything we kind of talked about through the call and your ideas.
Okay. Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm very, very excited at this point, because I don't know a lot about football. I'm just going to trust the process, enjoy the process. This meeting was very, very informative. So I appreciate everything that you do for Grambling, Ray. It has always been a joy just seeing you in action for Grambling as a whole. I'm ready. I'm looking forward to what's coming. Okay. And go Grambling.
Thank you. And we will, and I will have my hotel accommodations and things like that I normally do. Hopefully by the time the schedule comes out, I'll have those things already in line. So
okay,
we can, people can start booking.
You got to buy your classic already online, don't you?
Well, of course I do. I haven't put it out yet, but of course I do. I'm kind of waiting till I get all the other ones on board too. But thank you again for those kind words. Sean?
First of all, thank you for allowing us to have. I bugged you a couple of times about doing a Zoom, and you responded. Highly excited about Coach Hue Jackson. Thinking he's going to bring professionalism and some much needed juice, as I like to say, to Grambling State University, the football program and the athletic program and the student athletes. He definitely responded by saying he's going to uplift the student athletes. I think that's positive. Like in the recruiting right now and everything. And the administration do their part, and Coach Jackson does his part, and we all do our part. I think Grambling's got a bright future. We'll be back to the G, where everybody is somebody. Thanks.
Okay. Great, appreciate it. Amanda?
I really enjoy the call as well. I'm just gonna make sure I'm a season ticket holder, and it really motivated me to reinvest myself into the school. And just making sure I support.
Okay, and also when we talk about giving, there are a number of links that are available on the gram.edu website, and some have been posted that you can give individually and specifically for a sport. So if you want to give specifically to softball or whatever it may be, there are links where you can give specifically to that particular sport, and there's somewhere general where you can give to the general fund, and it goes to wherever the need is more prevalent. So I encourage you to, again, always give what you can as you can. No pressure from me. I will ever pressure you to say to give a certain amount of money or whatever, because I'm not going to have anybody in my pocket. I know I don't want anybody in y'all pocket. So you give what you can, how you can, and whatever your budget can allow you to do. And I'm sure Grambling State University will appreciate it. And hopefully we can trust them to be good stewards of the donations, whatever the size it is that is made. We can be good stewards of those funds that we give. Let's see. Have I gone to you, Mr. Besson? Have I talked to you yet about the final word?
Oh, no, but my wife, she has been listening here. You haven't seen her, but we sure appreciate everything you do, Ray. We go back a ways, but we really appreciate you. And I want to tell you, man, I'm glad I changed my hotel accommodations in New Orleans, man. We couldn't have asked for a better place.
The Holiday Inn Superdome, tell you, that's a pretty popular deal, man. And
it is, man.
They jump on that deal so quick.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's
and it saved these old folks some steps too, man.
Yeah, when you can almost throw a rock and hit the stadium, the Superdome, that's a pretty good location.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt, man.
All right, we appreciate tell your wife I said hello.
Oh, will do, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kirk Butler.
Hey Ray, shout out to you again for putting it together. And again, we have nowhere to go but up. The electricity we all probably felt with a hire that we all can see and has like a good career behind them. We have nowhere. I'm so excited. I wish season was starting pretty soon, but I know we gotta wait and we got some things to take care of first. But I look forward to more of these calls. I've told you I've reached out to some other athletes as well that are Graham alumni and say, hey, get on this call. Partner up with some of the other alumni that we have on here and be difference makers, be innovators, we just want to uplift the school and get us back to where we need to be. And I'm excited about that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and we have to understand that it's a process. Some of you have heard me say the speech about the 3 Gramblings. And if the university, if the alumni and the city are not all doing well, Grambling is never going to be great. It's going to be good, but it's never going to be great in my eyes unless all 3 Gramblings are on the same page, going forward with the best interests of the constituents, the students, the student athletes, the faculty, the staff, and everybody. It has to happen because we cannot function without the other properly. We can do it, we can get by, but we cannot function properly in the way that we need to without all 3 aspects of the 3 Gramblings working in the same direction. So, and I'm those of you know what I'm talking about, and those of you who don't, well, we'll let you know about that situation. But we all need to be heading in the same direction. Here's the thing: at the very core, we may not all agree on the way things are done sometimes. I don't think for one second anybody on this call, some of the people who I've just met for the first time, don't have the interest of Grambling State University at its core. We all may not agree on how we're going to get to that particular place, but we all care about Grambling State University. And I think as long as we do that, we have to know that there are things beyond our control. The university, the administration decides on who's hired, who's fired, when they're hired, when they're fired. You know, as alums, we want to go out and support, but don't think that you have to, you know, with that support, you can't say what's on your mind, because I want people to, I don't want everybody thinking the same way about stuff, because, you know, there's no thought in there. I mean, it's just like sheep. You know, I want people to, you know, have dissenting opinions about things. There's a different way of looking at things a lot of times. And I think if the more we listen to what people have to say, instead of dismissing what people have to say because it doesn't agree with what we think, we'll become a better university and better alums and a better school. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for participating in the call. I don't know if there's going to be another one, but, you know, maybe if I can get Coach Jackson on, maybe if I can get
that would be nice.
and I did ask for all principal parties to be on, and if we can maybe get Coach Jackson's agent to come on, and if we can get you know, president to come on. I know he got the response because I sent it to him. He responded back saying thank you, but it wasn't. He didn't say that he was going to be on, and I understand that. I don't. You know, people are busy. I get it. So, but I'm at some point he's going to have to come on. He's going to have to come on because I've known him too long, and he's going to have to come on. And I mean, he's you know, it's nothing big deal. I mean, it's not like we're going to be on here, you know, trying to cut his throat. I mean, ask us questions. That's all we're doing. So
that's all.
Yeah. So you guys have a good night. And
and one thing to think about, Ray, before you go, let me ask you or think about this, and everybody that's listening. That $18 million fence, man. If you, I know I see you grinning now, but that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anymore.
Hey, this is T right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I have my thoughts about that, and you know, that'll be on a, you know, this is an athletic call, so I'm gonna stick everything to athletics.
Yeah, athletics. Okay. But we already been talking about how are we gonna get through the fence? And I say we, I'm talking about the out of town people.
Right. So yeah, we'll talk about that, because I have some very strong opinions about that. But okay.
I hear you.
Okay, you guys have a great time, and is when the schedules and all these sorts of things come out. And again, encourage those student athletes on social media. If they say they got a offer from Grambling, hey man, great, awesome, come to Grambling. It's a great place. Whatever is legally available for us to do, it doesn't violate any NCAA, you know, infractions or anything. Encourage them to come to Grambling, because you know, those student athletes, whether they're from California or from Simsboro, you know, we need them here. If you want, we want them to come to Grambling. We want them to feel like when they come, there's going to be people in the stands who supporting them and encouraging them throughout the game, and making sure that they graduate and be there, and encouraging their other friends to come along as well. We don't necessarily have to agree on everything, but we want the best student athletes. Students first, athletes.
And where you get that fox from, man? That look like a fox.
Go ahead, Kirk. If you want to answer that? Andrew interrupted me.
It's a Shiba Inu. She's still a puppy.
Oh,
it's like a fox. Yeah.
Okay. Like fox.
It's a what?
Shiba
Inu.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys have a great night, and it was wonderful talking to you guys, man.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you, man. All right, go Grambling.
Go Grambling.
Yay.
All right.
Ray said that's another story.
I said, what about?
Again, a great show 5. You know, if people want more shows, then, you know, they're welcome to inbox me. I don't have to be the one that hosting it. So if there's something that you like, you know, inbox me, and if something comes up, we'll do another show. If not, then I'll still inform everybody on things that I come across and know about. I do not profess to be an expert on all things Grambling State University. I know a little bit about a little bit, you know, and I know a little bit more about Grambling stuff. So it's just my opinion. It's not the opinion of Grambling State University or anybody else. It's just my opinion, just like your opinions are your own as well. Thanks again for coming out and participating in the show this week. Good night.